What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video with the Crown Priestess. This is going to be a channel conversation, okay? So first things first, when I was in meditation, I caught like this strange glimpse of like really harsh skin conditions, okay? So some of you can struggle with like eczema, rosacea, psoriasis, or you just have like very sensitive skin and you can be like going through that, all right? With the season changes, that makes sense, with like allergies and all that other shit, because they were just showing me like really tough skin. With that being said, also, if this is about health, I am not a professional physician, not a licensed physician. So please go see the proper professionals for your condition. But can also be, it's symbolic and metaphorically speaking to you having tough skin, okay? And you've been able to sort of put up with something for quite some time. You can take harsh judgment, harsh criticism, harsh conditions. You can just you're good at under pressure. Like, you're just good at that stuff, okay? Like, you're really good at that stuff. Some of you have really callousy like hands or feet, and it's so what the things that happen on the outside of our body are a reflection of what's going on inside our body, right? And not just physically, but also emotionally, also spiritually. So it can speak to a lot of the hardships and just things that you've had to endure that have put your body in the state that it's in right now. So a lot of you can be really focused on getting your health back in order, getting your skin to look better, okay? I don't know. People always ask me about my skin regimens, and I use different stuff all the time, like literally. But I'll tell you this, coconut. It doesn't work. Everybody has to find what works for them. But when people ask me, oh my God, your skin is so good, what do you do? And everything, you just glow. And coconuts, just coconuts. Eat it, drink it, wear it, all the above, right? Also with garlic, ginger, and turmeric, same things. And you will find that you are hardly ever sick. I'm never sick, bro. Like, honestly. Like, sometimes I get a little nasally or whatever. That has a lot to do with my allergies, but I'm not a sick girl. Like, I'm not. I don't go through that stuff. And it's because I am habitual about the shit that I put into my body. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not telling you to go on a diet or anything like that. That's your business. That's your prerogative. But there are things that are just essential to your livelihood, you know, the health of your body. Find out what those things are for you, because they look different for a lot of people, you know. But for me, coconuts, garlic, turmeric, ginger, these are things that I habitually am intaking, and like I said, eat, drink, and put and wear it too. I do all of it, because if I can eat it, 9 times out of 10 there's a benefit for me drinking it. 9 times out of 10 there's a benefit for me wearing it. Like, make your own lotions, oils, concoctions, shampoo, soap, whatever. Just, okay, so that's part of the message. All right, now getting into the next part. So there's something that has been swept under the rug for entirely too long, and now it's becoming a serious problem. Now I'm gonna jump right out ahead with the zodiac signs that this is pertaining to specifically, just because it's in their nature. And it's not that anybody can't be like this. It can be a lot of people, but naturally these signs tend to do this, okay? And that is the sign of Libra. That is the sign of Cancer. That is the sign of Scorpio. That is, what was the other guy? The other guy, Taurus, okay? A lot of fixed energy there, but also cardinal, because Libra and Cancer are cardinal signs. But fixed signs, especially, and the two cardinal that I mentioned, Libra and Cancer, are so signature for that. I'm sorry, you just are. You want to put things off and put things off and not confront and not confront and not confront. And you feel like by ignoring something or not paying it attention that it's going to go away. And that's not the case when problems are real severe, right? When we're talking about real issues, when we're talking about habitual issues, things that keep coming up, because that's another thing that I fucking hate. And I was channeling this very strong, is like, if something was a problem one time and you chose to ignore it and it never came back up, then okay, it wasn't that big of a deal. But if this is something that is consistently showing up in your life, and this is like, you know, and then you can't ignore that, okay? And you can't chuck it to, oh, that's a thing of the past. No, it's not a thing of the past if it's reoccurring, okay? And you cannot resolve problems that you don't confront, that you don't deal with. Think of a tumor, right? And I always come to this with the cancer shit. I don't know who the fuck is suffering with this. Excuse me. But think of a tumor. If your doctor says you have a tumor, a malignant tumor in whatever part of your body, and it's about the size of a nickel, you're like, oh, no big deal. Is the tumor going to go away on its own? Do you think that's what's going to happen? Or is it going to spread and become a bigger problem and be a massive issue, potentially a life-threatening issue now? Because you chose to ignore it. You chose to say it's not a big deal. You chose to put it off. You chose not to go to the doctor, not to find a resolution, not to give it treatment. And this is what's happening in somebody's life. Hopefully not literally in sickness. If that is, I'm sorry. I'm sending you love and light, and I pray that you're healing well. But this is something that cannot go unchecked. When you don't check the small problem, when you ignore it, it spreads. Over time, it becomes a bigger problem, a bigger threat. And now it's that much harder to deal with because you didn't address this at the door. And that's what's happening. Somebody has ignored this tumor because it wasn't hurting them. It wasn't bothering them. And for whatever sick reason, you thought, it'll go away. It'll resolve itself. But it didn't. And now the problem is too big to ignore. It's like quite literally all up in your face. It's haunting you in your dreams. You wake up to it. You're arguing. It has to be addressed every single day because you did not handle the problem when you should have. You didn't nip it in the bud when you should have. You didn't get ahead of it and you weren't proactive. So now you have to be reactive, and it's exhausting. Okay, it's exhausting someone. Somebody wants to quit. But let me tell you something. Quitting is not going to solve the problem either. So take that how it resonates. I saw an interesting reel the other day. And I don't know if this ties in or if this is a completely other, a whole other scenario, because these are just channeled conversation, right? It's just what spirit brings me in my meditation. But I saw an interesting reel the other day where a man was explaining the difference between a disciplined man and one who's not, right? Essentially a man who would make a good partner, a good companion versus one who does not, right? Like the player versus the faithful man, the player versus the loyal one. Excuse me, shut your mouth and leave my cat alone. They over there bullying Jinx. But anyway, he said, and I quote, he said, if you're not a man, what did he say? He said, if you're not a man of service, then you're a man who's looking to be served. Okay? And you have to ask yourself that. This is not just for men, this is for women as well. Are you looking to be of service, or are you looking to be served? Because a man who's looking to be served is only going to consider himself. What can I get out of this? How do I benefit from this? And he's going to do his own thing. Versus a man who is of service is looking to see how he can make your situation better, how he can create a dynamic where this is a safe space for you both. How do I help this flourish? How do, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's that, do you love the flower or do you like the flower? If you like a flower, you pick it up. You pick it. It's beautiful. I'm taking it home. But essentially it dies. You have to throw it away. You didn't take much care of it. If you love a flower, you show up every day to water it. You feed it. You make sure it's getting the amount of sunlight that it needs to grow, to flourish, to live a long life, to be sustained, right? So there's some situation where you're assessing right now that service to be served as energy, like, or which one you're dealing with in your daily life. Are people around you looking to be served, or are they looking to be of service? Because the idea is, if we are all in a space where we are wanting to just be served, then nobody is getting anything out of anything, because we're all thinking in a greedy mindset. Versus if we're all in a space where we are looking to be of service, then everybody's cup stays filled. Because while I want to pour into you and you want to pour into me, no one ever goes thirsty. You understand what I'm saying? It's like that explanation of hell, and I don't remember where I read it or who said it, but it's not my original. It's not mine, right? But it basically said heaven and hell are the same place. But in hell, all the people... And literally, heaven and hell are the same place, and all the people look the same, right? All the people's arms are like this. This is how they depicted it. Your arms are like this, straight ahead in front of you. You can't bend. You can't move them. You can't nothing. They are stuck this way, right? And in hell, everybody is skinny, dying, starving. Why? Because they're picking fruit off these trees, and they're trying to feed themselves. They're trying to find ways to... how can I get this into my mouth, but my hands don't move, right? Versus in heaven, the people have learned to pick that fruit and feed each other. You take this and I'll take yours, because if we are in service to one another, we both eat. But if I'm in service to myself, I'm only worried about myself, and it gets me less than 9 times out of 10, right? So there's something about learning how to be in an energy where as much as you give, you receive. You know, it's this balance of reciprocity that somebody is in desperate search of, or is realizing that they are in lack of, you know, like it's just not happening for them. And people seek, right? People seek the knowledge that they want. Okay, I'll use myself as an example. I have actually a very high IQ. I won't get into the number. I've always been a very smart person. From very young, it was very clear. Like, you know, like everybody around me, everybody who met me, they said this about me. But I fucking hated school. I hated school because I'm a person that once I'm always seeking knowledge. So once I learn something, once I've mastered something, it's no longer interesting to me. I want to, what else? If I'm smarter than everybody in the room, then what the fuck am I doing here? If I'm not the teacher, right? Because I'm not the teacher, I'm a student. I'm in school, so I can't teach you shit because it's not my job. But if I'm telling you that I know this work, I know everything in here, I can teach you probably something, but you just playing your card, I'm getting the fuck out of here. You know, and I had other things going on that didn't allow me. But I left school with 5 credits left. That's all I needed was 5 credits. And they were mostly fucking gym because I never did shit in there. Obviously, you know, I was always a big girl. So, and it wasn't that I wasn't active. I was actually very active. I like to box. I like to fight. I like to play sports. But for whatever reason, high school gym was just trash to me. And there was too many people in there. And it was just a hangout for a lot of us, to be honest. But I fucking left school with that little bit left. I went back eventually later because I realized I don't know everything now. You know, like I need to learn a little bit more. And so I went back and I got my little college, my little baby AAS, right? But I say that to say that people pursue the knowledge that they want. And so take this how it resonates, because I know it's going to apply to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. if someone is not pursuing you, if someone is not interested in the knowledge, if someone is not interested in being of service to you, then you know what I mean? They're just not going to do that. And I think that there's but so many ways that a person can hide that reality. You know what I mean? Another thing that I saw the other day, and I reposted it on my personal page, was something like, them people ain't acting weird. They just never liked you, and now it's getting harder to hide it. Okay? And that's where all of this is at. Somebody is coming into the realization that I don't really care to know this person, to like this person, whatever. Or you're learning that this is how somebody feels about you. And you're realizing like, damn, this nigga, this bitch never saw it for me, for real. Like, and that's the truth of it. That's, now you're facing this reality. And perhaps this is a problem. Maybe it ties into that first message. This is a problem that you have seen the red flags for when it was still early, when it was small, and now it's so big, it's so evident. Like, you can't unsee this shit. It's so big and in your face that it's like, damn. Now what do I do? Because I've invested so much into this situation just to find out that shit was never, wasn't real. It was built on lies. It was built on bullshit. I ignored so many flags, whatever. I didn't get ahead of this, whatever it is, however it applies into your life, okay? Let's see what houses and signs can relate to this. Third house, Taurus, like I said, and who's that? I always forget. South Node, comfort. Yeah, okay. Who else? Fourth house, Cancer. These are signs I mentioned, and they're coming out with the dice. And Uranus, all right? Uranus is a tough energy to be into. Uranus a lot of times talks about, let me see. Right. Innovative course of action, protest and reform, challenging institutions or constructs. Yeah, makes sense. Let's do one more roll. Two signs that I mentioned already have come out. Let's see if another one comes out. Oh, that's a new one. Aries. I didn't mention Aries, but it's possible. Third house and motherfucking who's that? Venus. Okay. All right, great. I be having to I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know my astrology shit is still a little dusty. Knowledge I'm actively seeking though, because I want that knowledge. You understand? Have a good one. Let's see if Spirit has any advice on this situation, and then I'm finna go. What is the advice attached to this message, Spirit? I'm available for personal readings. Please check the menu as some prices have changed. And we'll get into it. Yep. Look at this. Reward and recognition in the reverse. Somebody never saw it for you. And so you need to just bow out gracefully is kind of the energy that I'm getting from this. Bow out gracefully. It's unfortunate. I think your head will be hanging low a bit like this man as well. But respect it. That whatever the situation is, it went unchecked too long, or you tried to ignore the red flags, or you just didn't want to deal with this. You just were like, it'll fix itself. It won't be a big deal. Nah. Here it is. There's no win. This is like, take the L and just go ahead. Take it in silence. Take it in private. Bow out gracefully, okay? Because it's just not. It's you know what I'm talking about. If any of that resonated, please like, share, comment, book a personal reading, do whatever you got to do. And thank you so much. Love, light, and abundance.